Joe would say to me, and has said to me over the years, you know, in various ways, because that's what he believes, that if there's a God, he believes in God, but I'll use the word if, then God knows my heart. And therefore, it doesn't fucking matter what anyone else thinks. This YouTube channel has been a vlog, a diary. And just as I've done in my diaries throughout my entire life that I've kept, you know, ranting and raving. When I was a kid, you could, you know, when you're a kid, you can write, you hate your parents, you hate your mom, you hate your dad, you hate whoever, you hate your siblings, you know. So anyone who watches my videos, you cannot, you have to look at the whole collection of them. You can't just look at one and think, oh, this is how she feels. Because remember, my aunt is collecting all these videos. I have proof of that because she's outright told me before that she does it. Okay? And, she told me when we were pseudo-friends, and then she told me when we were no longer pseudo-friends. I'll never forget that happened because I had the nerve to bother her about my concerns that my mom was back in that same mental hospital where she had been put on that fucking lithium that nearly killed her in the outside world. But yeah, shoot me, I'm sorry, you know. I'm venting to my so-called friend, not expecting her to do anything about it, just upset though, venting, and she didn't want to hear it. She was busy. She couldn't be bothered, okay? So I could collect my videos and say this, that, or whatever. But I change with the wind. You get it? My videos vacillate from this, that, or whatever. You can't take any of them. You have to take every last one of my videos with a grain of salt, okay? Even that cop said that time, and my aunt, even though she'll deny it to Kingdom Come, I know she was Island of Misfit Toys, and I know that she was threatening to have me committed based on my videos, and I was afraid of that, but that cop said that she can't do that, it's not going to happen, and that he would be the one to have to come here and put me before a judge or something. He would vouch for me, that's what he said. So there are a handful of people, professionals in my mom's life, that cop, you know, that I saw a few years ago, a couple of years ago, whatever, when I was afraid. Then I'd also seen him. When did I see him before? I don't know, it all blends together. All blends together, people. But in any case, he, you know, assuaged my concerns, eased my fears, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it, it's what he did. He made me feel better. And then when I told Joe's like, I told you so, Laura, it doesn't work that way, don't worry about it, she's just blowing air, whatever. thing is, so I could keep all my little videos and say this, that, or whatever. It's all hearsay. You could say, well, how is it hearsay when you said it? Because like the cop said, he's like, if you're worried about anything, Laura, do one video and have a disclaimer, you know, where you say, and I've done that here or there. I say, don't take me seriously. It doesn't mean I'm lying out here. It means you can't take everything that I say seriously. If I'm in the heat of the moment and my mom is, I feel like I'm being held hostage by a 2-year-old, you know, and I talk about that, that does not mean, or if I say I need to leave here, I need to do this, I need, you know, it doesn't mean I don't love her. And no matter what I say, you know, I have proven repeatedly how much I advocate for her and fight for her, because I have come to her defense and argued with professionals, with these mental hospital assholes, with whatever, you know, over the years, what they've done to her. And I have also, me arguing with my aunt, or just, you know, venting or whatever, cost me the pseudo friendship, you know. My mom's been perfect, but that should tell any of you with half a brain. My mom's been perfect over these past 3 weeks. She's always perfect until she's not. But the fact that she's been perfect should tell any of you or anybody on this planet with half a brain, my mom's meds were not adjusted. She got in there and was telling me and others immediately. The doctor was like, why are you even in here, Samantha? You know, so her meds weren't adjusted. She goes in there and I mean, that just repeatedly reinforces to me how it's just pseudoscience. It's just whatever. It's her age, and she's on these meds. These meds have been proven to cause dementia. You know, years ago they were saying that my mom, you know, had like pre-dementia, but it's just she doesn't have any type of like outright dementia. People get older and have memory problems anyway. But is that why she behaves that way? And if that's the case, then how she hasn't acted like that for the past 3 weeks. She's been fine. She's been, you know. And it's only when she pushes me to my breaking point that I feel like I'm at my breaking point, you know. And I say things that I don't mean. Not necessarily to her. But definitely out on my YouTube channel. Fact is, my mom keeps all these videos, whatever. I have solid evidence of things she did to my mom. Shocking things, heartbreaking things. Yeah, when my mom is pushing me to my breaking point and I see no solution, because I don't want to see anything happen to her in terms of having to, you know, not be independent or whatnot. And I also know that going into mental hospital doesn't help her. And I also know, despite what somebody might say to the contrary, and they're not, like Celine said, they have no right to say that unless they have proof. And she was taking her meds, okay? But when I bared my soul to my hygienist last week, or whenever it was, a long-time dental hygienist, 5 years, you know, she got what I was saying. She read between the lines without me having to spell it out. When I say, she's like, it's a constant state of whatever, because you never know. My mom's always perfect until she's not. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. People always want to say, oh, the meds need to be adjusted. That's what Churchwoman was saying. Oh, your mom's meds just need to be adjusted. Or, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. My mom's been fine over these past few weeks since she got home, and her meds weren't adjusted at all. So it makes no sense, none of it, except that she does it to herself, and then it spirals. It might be one little thing where she doesn't want to go to bed, doesn't want to take her meds regularly, as in she takes them, but not on a regular schedule. And that's just not good. And you don't want to be taking your meds at 12:30 at night and then just take them like 6 the next day or 5 the next, you know what I mean? There's supposed to be time in between. And then if you add coffee to the mix and not sleeping, you know what I mean? But I document all this in ways that I don't tell you. You know, via sending texts when it's in the middle of it. I send them to Churchwoman, to Selena, and to Joe. Often duplicate texts, okay? And I can look back on those texts that I saved, and I can remember. But what I can't ever tell a living soul, because I don't know, is why it happens. Because it just suddenly does. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. Just as everything was going on before we went to that hotel, and then she was fine. And she's been fine over these past 3 weeks. She was fine the entire time we were in that hotel. And then we come back, and I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. There's no rhyme or reason. What I do know is if people stumble across any given videos over these years, they'll think one thing about me. And then if they stumble across a different video, they'll think another thing about me. Entirely different, complete opposite. That's why you have to take everything I say with a grain of salt. There are 10,000 plus videos on my channel, and those videos span 10 fucking years. How could you ever stumble across, watch a few and think you know me, or watch videos where I'm real upset with what's going on with my mom and I say things that I don't mean, and you know. Of course you can misconstrue anything when you're dealing with someone who has this public forum that spans 10 fucking years. when my mom's out of control like that and gets to lie through her teeth and badmouth me and say all kinds of things that aren't true. I gave you examples from a few years ago when church women didn't know me and was saying to my mom, I was eavesdropping through my mom's bedroom door, telling my mom, who was crying wolf, to get sympathy. She wants to elicit sympathy, and she always, everything she says is meant to, it goes in her favor. And I know what churchwoman was saying to her. I'm going to call the cops. Do you want me to call the cops? But remember what my mom was saying to her and how it sounds. She tells me what to do. She tells me when to go to bed. And I gave you the perfect example. And that's why Joe would say to this day, he's like, Laura, who cares what anybody thinks, that believes every word that comes out of your mom's mouth. They know she's mentally ill, but so long as she's saying stuff against you, she's the most sane person in the universe. She tells me what to do. She tells me when to go to bed. You know what was going on? I'm telling her when to go to bed. She was staying up all night. She was sleeping just a few hours. She was refusing to go to bed at any type of reasonable hour. Telling her what to do. She wants to force herself to stay awake with coffee. So I would take the coffee away or hide it or tell stuff like that. But can you see how in this life things can be so misconstrued? And I had to be behind my mom's. It wasn't the first time it's happened. It won't be the last. But this was serious because the churchman doesn't know me from Adam. I'm eavesdropping behind my mom's closed bedroom door. And based on what my mom was saying, no, don't do that. I knew that the churchwoman was saying, you want me to, I need to call the police. Let me call the police right now. That is scary fucking shit. That my mom's able to sound so convincing when she's crying wolf and saying all this stuff. And that's why that godsend woman, years ago said, nobody knows what goes on in that house but you, Laura. And when I was crying my eyes out to her for the umpteenth time, and my mom, she's like, you're going to be dead before your mother is. So yeah, there have definitely been times I've created videos where I'm like, I have to get the fuck out of here right now. Numerous times. Because like I said not that long ago, it's like being held hostage by a 2-year-old, Held hostage because my mom not only she gets to do whatever she wants, I can't stop her, but she gets to cry to ignorant people in her life who take as the gospel truth every word that comes out of her mouth when it's against me. I mean, it's unreal. I was fortunate enough to be able to slowly educate the church woman, but everyone else in my mom's life, no. They think I'm just this whatever. So Joe says you can't worry about shit like that, Laura. God knows your heart. God knows your heart is pure when it comes to your mom. But there are also lawyers who know. Because back when we got that lawyer, because some overzealous person had called Elder Services for whatever fucking reason, we don't know. The lawyer laughed it off. He did. He made light of it. He's like, oh, maybe someone heard you arguing, maybe whatever, and who knows. Like I said, people can pick up the phone for anything. I'm venting and, letting off steam by walking around blasting my music around here in the rain. Because that's the only thing because what he said, he doesn't know who we never know who did it, but I mean, one of the things someone had said, like that I was unstable or whatever, that they, and what did they ever witness? I'm thinking they probably witnessed me walking around, not singing out loud, but, dancing around in the rain. And most people are going to misconstrue that as just, I'm whatever. So what? I could be a stripper dancing on a pole. It doesn't mean I don't love my mom and not able to, you know, care for her. I'm not a professional caregiver, you know. This was years ago anyway, I'm just making a point. But that lawyer also knows that when my mom was started not doing well in the middle of, we had seen the live, and then I was trying to, you know, say, what can we do to protect her? Okay? Now she suddenly says she wants me to leave, and I know she can't live alone, and da-da-da-da. Although when she had that apartment on her own, she did prove she could live alone. So I guess it's really, when she's sick, she can't be here alone, you know. It's kind of, it'll be anywhere, but in any case, I was looking into this special place that this lawyer knew about that was a special assisted living that doesn't cost like $1 million, you know. But of course you can't. So that proves that I was like, I just don't want my mom in a nursing home, and she's digging her own grave, thinking that blah, 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 blah. And we talked, this lawyer and I talked about different things, you know, including me becoming my mom's guardian just to save her. As in, we were going to sell this house and get her into assisted living to save her from going into a nursing home. She's digging her own grave, you know, thinking that she could do this or that or whatever. So that lawyer knows about how pure my heart was. Take it all. Take my entire so-called rightful inheritance. Just don't put my mom in a nursing home, okay? Don't let anyone, you know, don't let them do it. And we were talking about, remember my aunt had said she's out of the picture. With text, you know, she said to my mom, said, no, she's just a sister, she's out of the picture, she's not, you know, and then she didn't want to be healthcare proxy anymore, and et cetera, until something was in it for her. So, as some handful of you might know or might remember, my mom spiraled, wound up in the mental hospital again, had no choice. This attorney we'd seen never even wound up getting paid, because when my mom wound up in the hospital again, she did the unthinkable that she'd never done before. She turned on me. The sister pounced, even though the sister had said she didn't want anything to do with anything anymore. And my mom's locked up and hating me, not for any reason, but just because she's in there, okay? And I never got to talk to her about anything, okay? Never got to explain anything, right? She's just wondering why so much money is gone, because we lived on it, plus you voluntarily, you know, funded my trip to California so I could have closure. And what was the other thing she did? I don't know. The fact is, she can't not give a fuck about the money and be talking about me getting a $10,000 boob job and all this crap which I would never do, and doing this, that, or whatever, and traveling and stuff, whatever, and then suddenly be like, and then I never got a chance to explain, as you know. She revoked the release. Again, she's being deemed as totally, perfectly right in her mind so long as she's against me. And then, you know, my aunt stepped in, and that was all she wrote. And My point being, there are professionals in my own life. There are also just there are people who were strangers until they became a part of our lives. Attorneys, who know the truth versus whatever lies my concoct. She lied through her teeth on those court documents. We know that. She didn't put down that I was a healthcare proxy, and she knew damn well I was. Whatever. My mom's life and my life are forever intertwined. And my YouTube channel has been a 10-year diary, 10-year vlog. But of course, there are people who might stumble across just one or two videos. And if those one or two videos are all those people, but that should tell you something about life, okay? Life is not one or two things. It's a whole bunch of things. That's why I've been watching This Is Us, It's like, talks about that. I think about that. It wouldn't matter. Because there are 10,000 plus videos out there just on this channel alone. And there's also all those videos out there which prove, if people only stumbled across those videos about Chad Kruger, and all that crap, and Nickelback, and they're going to think one thing about me and not know anything else, see? So I can't worry about that because there's nothing I could do about any of it. Even if I voluntarily destroyed this channel, which I would never do, but if I did, I have no control over the other two channels. As far as the world of YouTube personnel, legal, whatever, I have no proof that that's my channel. Now, obviously it is because I'm in it, but I can't prove it. They don't care. All they care about is you proving it with passwords that you don't know, and it's connected to old things, and it's connected to old accounts, and, it's impossible for me to prove that Alicia Roll 1 and ALICIACREATURE are my YouTube channels. Because nobody cares about the solid proof that I'm the one in all the videos. They only care that you could prove that you can access it through passwords or backup or whatever, and I can't. So, I'm simply making a point. Oma's channel's out there too, and I can't prove that that's my channel either. That's 3 YouTube channels. The common sense dictates I'm the owners of them, but not necessarily, because someone else could be the owner of a channel that only contains, other people in it, and it's like they filmed the other people. So, in this world of internet and everything like that, and passwords and